and slipping the notes underneath, and like, it was fun, it was like camp. That part was great and fun with Cosplay Melee. But anyway, we have 5 minutes. Does anybody have any questions or anything regarding cosplaying, crunch time, time management?
I mean, the thing is, yeah.
Sure. Being taken out of your element and working with like different tools or different situations, were there any kind of innovations or anything that you kind of unexpectedly discovered that you later on incorporated into your regular work?
Actually, yeah, I've never made fairy wings before. I've made feathered wings, I've made other wings, but I've never made fairy wings before, and I have a bunch of friends who made fairy wings. And of course, I don't have the internet or anything to ask my friends, hey, how do I make fairy wings? So I kind of had to learn on the fly how to make it. Now, I've made wings before, so I figured it would be similar to that, but it was definitely a learning curve and definitely helped, yeah, with my future cosplays at least.
I still use a lot of the same ones, so I didn't really learn anything, but I was pretty out of it most of the time.
I think if anything that we learned, it was time management. It's how important they are.
Yeah, kind of a question for you, Steve, going back to you mentioning bringing in your own bits. But I watched your video where you talk about making the sanding bits.
Mm-hmm.
But some people will use on EVA foam like the grinding bits, like the stone grinding bits.
Yep.
You'll use the sanding disc. Can you talk more about why you make the bits you make versus like using something that's readily available?
Yeah, so when it comes to making your own bits, or at least if you're going to work with foam, I have a video on my channel that's specifically how I make the ultimate sanding drums, or at least my version of it. And it's because it has less grit to it, so it still takes away some of the foam, but because of the acrylic that I use on there and polishing it, it cauterizes the foam, and that's what gives a lot of the different techniques that really stand out that way. And you can swing by the booth again later, and I'll actually show you some of those different things. And that's the thing, if you guys do have additional questions, we're down the cosplay alley, so I'm at G1.
I'm G10.
G10.
I'm just like a couple booths down.
Yeah.
And you can, like, even after this, even after the convention, just feel free to contact us, and we're happy to help anybody. We're all about like lifting each other up. We're a positive community.
Definitely.
It's, you know.
Yeah, I specifically make it a point to answer everyone's questions. You know, I mean, it may be a little bit of a delay, but it's like that's one of the things I really try to key on is helping everyone that asks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Did you know everyone in both the stress test and the
We knew
We
a
knew some
bunch
people.
of them,
Yeah,
which is funny that like we weren't able to talk, right? So
Yeah.
this is the second part to it. We only were known by our initials,
Yeah.
which is SKS. And so they were calling roll, and I'm at the back of the room, and they're like SKS, and I was like here, and like everyone was like, and like on the way back to the house, they're like, are you the guy that made the work? And I was like, yeah, and they're like, oh shit.
I'm sorry, you had a question.
Yeah. So what did you, both of you, what did you enjoy making the most?
Of my costume,
Or Cosplay Melee?
In general.
in general, my
Yeah,
Princess
maybe.
Zelda costume is probably the one thing that I love making the most. But I've also made that like 4 times, so.
Every single one of my costumes gets to be my favorite one until I make the next one. So I mean, it's really a thing where I love it during that, and then I love the next one, but all for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I think that's good for our channel, and thank you guys for showing up. And like I said, if you guys ever have questions, feel free to hit us up online.
Yeah.